Chapter
NK
841, Black-eared Lynx. Drill a hole in the tree, the sap will flow out, finally it can be boiled into sugar. So Fong briefly explained. Sounds quite simple. Van Han nodded, her hand touched the rough bark, face full of excitement. So do we need to dig a hole for water? Lu Waimong asked softly. Possible, but it will take long. So Fong drew his bow, fitted an arrow and shot the trunk. Whoosh! He grabbed the arrow stuck on the branch, shook it and pulled it out. This hole is fine. He slid his finger into the round hole, deep enough to collect sap. Is it done now? Van Han asked. Of course not, we still need a pipe, pity we have none, if we had bamboo it would be good. His tone was gentle but helpless. Without a pipe, the sap cannot be directed out. Lu Waimong looked around, found nothing to replace bamboo, then asked, so what now? Just try, put the bamboo tube below to see if it collects sap, if not, later bring real bamboo and come back. So Fong replied. He tied the bamboo tube to the trunk, used a stiff leaf as a channel, guiding the sap to drip inside. How long until it fills? Lu Waimong bent closer, muttering, not even a drop now. We will check later. So Fong shrugged, without pipe it is uncertain, not to mention how long for a full tube. Fine then. Lu Waimong pursed her lips and wandered. Do not run far, careful not to get lost. So Fong warned. I know, I am not a toddler. Lu Waimong pouted. I will prepare dinner, so Fong, gather dry branches. Van Han ordered. Okay, you start fire with leaves. He nodded, then shouted, Waimong, watch and do not wander. I know. She answered quickly, light steps returned. Only then he entered forest to collect. Rustle. He froze, lifted head to the sound. Rustle. Another strange sound came. His brows knit, a three-dimensional image formed in mind. The bush ahead became clear, vision turned downward. Behind the bush, a black-eared lynx crouched. Black-eared lynx. He dispelled the image. This feline is among the heaviest and fastest small cats. Its mark is two long tufts of hair on ears. Their fur varies, red-brown, gray, sandy, even black. The one he saw was sandy, common color. They live in small groups, with territory, marked by urine like dogs or big cats. Skilled hunters, especially of birds, yet easily tamed, often kept as hunting pets. The good is owning a cat few can keep, at least not in America. The bad is rabbits, chickens, even puppies may fall prey, as for fighting other beasts, only rail meat decides. Rustle. As he thought, the lynx withdrew. Before he could chase, it vanished. He sighed, dropped idea of raising it, gathered more wood. After half an hour, he returned to stream, girls were cooking. You are back. Van Han smiled. Guess what I saw? He dropped firewood, sat near her. Bear? Or wolves? She guessed calmly. No. He shook head. If I met them, I would have caught for you. He laughed. Then what? Lu Waimong waved. Black-eared lynx. He smiled bitterly, the two seemed uninterested. Black-eared lynx? Lu Waimong eyes lit, asking fast, is it feline? Where? Can we keep it? You like cats? He asked surprised. Of course, cats are cute, why not? She replied. So what is black-eared lynx? Van Han asked. A small cat, bigger than house cat, smaller than leopard. He explained. The one with tufts on ears? Van Han recalled, seen on TV. Ear hair not always lynx. He corrected. I saw lynx, I know how it looks. She said innocently. So where is it? Lu Waimong pressed. It ran away. He said simply. Chapter 842, The Story. Cough cough, I just thought we already had wild rabbits and pheasants at home, so I did not pay attention and let it run away. So Fong coughed a few times and explained. Really, they were all in cages, what is there to fear? Lu Waimong pouted regretfully. Next time we see one I will catch it for you. So Fong smiled bitterly. This time it truly feels like a zoo. Van Han covered her mouth and laughed softly. If we cannot catch a caracal then a tiger cub will do, as long as it is not too big. Lu Waimong giggled. It is fine, a tiger cub has no killing power, after we leave we can release it back into the forest. Lu Waimong said seriously. We will see then. So Fong was helpless. If they really brought a cub back, Lu Wai Thursday would surely be scared, since she was once frightened by a tiger near the breadfruit tree. Lu Waimong nodded. Dinner was quickly prepared, and the sky grew dark, firelight shining all around. Hoo! Lu Waimong blew on her bowl of stew, waited until it cooled and then ate. Her voice muffled as she asked, So Fong, will we continue along the stream tomorrow? Not sure, we will go and see. So Fong replied, since everything ahead was uncertain, they could only take it step by step. So Fong, am I really not getting fat? Van Han looked at the bowl and pot of stew, eating well every day. Could she gain weight? No, you look just right. So Fong said indulgently. That is good then. Van Han breathed a sigh of relief and bit into a big piece of meat. So Fong smiled wryly, women always care about their figure. At night, after dinner, the three sat by the fire, the mood a bit dull. Lu Waimong added wood and muttered, should have brought chess. Van Han leaned on So Fong's shoulder, complaining, who could know in advance? If bored then sleep early, tomorrow we rise and walk. So Fong stroked her long hair gently. Lu Waimong looked up, the moon had just risen, and sighed, sleeping now is too early, it is not even 8 yet. She glanced at the dark forest and suggested, why not explore the woods tonight? Lu Waimong, your courage grows bolder. So Fong glanced at her. This is the spirit of adventure. Lu Waimong raised her small fist. So Fong tapped her forehead and scolded, be obedient, if you get lost I cannot find you. I will not. Lu Waimong held her forehead, aggrieved. If bored, let us play riddles, or you can make one for me to guess. So Fong suggested warmly. Those games need talent to be fun. Lu Waimong waved. So Fong curled his lips, since when was she so hard to please? He asked, then what do you want? Nothing, or you can tell a story. Lu Waimong's eyes lit up, smiling gently. Tell a story? So Fong was startled. Lu Waimong nodded, yes, any story, as long as it is interesting. Right, I have not heard you tell one. Van Han agreed. Any story will do. So Fong smiled. Fine, if it is not good do not blame me. So Fong cleared his throat. We will not. The two women answered. Cough cough, long ago. So Fong cleared his throat again. Such an old-fashioned start. Lu Waimong muttered. So Fong glanced at her and began, in a nameless small village, there was a shabby yard, in daytime it seemed fine, but at night strange cries for help would sound. That voice, faint and near, whispering in your ear, hurry save me, hurry save me. So Fong changed his tone, making it vivid. Lu Waimong and Van Han clung together, sitting closer to the fire, faces tense. One day, a pair of lovers went to the ruined yard at midnight to seek pleasure, pushing open the gate. So Fong told excitedly. Do not mind that detail. He said awkwardly. Continue. Lu Waimong urged quickly. Van Han frowned, why stop, what was it called? Yes, do not leave us hanging. Lu Waimong pulled Van Han's hand, clearly a bit scared. The voice said, want to impersonate Q coins, discount available. So Fong suddenly grinned. The two girls froze, confused, was this plot not odd? Cough cough, just a joke. So. Fong waved, continuing the ghost story. A pale face appeared behind the door, a woman's face, mouth wide, tongue bloody, wriggling maggots crawling in and out. Ugh! Van Han covered her mouth, nearly vomiting. Lu Weimong also paled, imagination vivid. On the screen, viewers flooded with comments. Oh my god, so terrifying, what is this? So scary, hold me, let us go to the ruined yard, just want to see ghosts, not fun. Why am I laughing? Lovers sneaking into a haunted house to impersonate Q coins. Shocking, lovers went to a haunted house at midnight to do that. Ah. In the dark woods, two high-pitched screams suddenly rang. Chapter 843, Eat meat and still want to run? So Fong, you are really mean. Van Han screamed and then hit his chest. Annoying, the more you talk the scarier it gets. Lu Weimong rolled her eyes and scolded. You asked me to say it. So Fong spread his hands innocently. No. He touched his nose. That story he told was something he had once read in a magazine. It was scary, so he read it twice. That was why he still remembered the script. He curled his lips and asked, do you still want to hear? I have another story I did not tell. Lu Weimong gave up the idea of exploring the dark forest. After the ghost story, she would rather die than go in there. Fine. So Fong shrugged, his purpose was achieved. He patted the girl's head and gently said, then let us rest early, we walked all day. I will wash my face. Van Han replied obediently, took out a toothbrush and toothpaste, hung the towel on her shoulder and went to the stream. I will come too. Lu Weimong stood up and followed. Nearly 10 minutes later, they came back, hung the towels to dry by the fire and put away their things. Let us sleep here, it is flat. Van Han spread leaves and grass, then laid the cloth, enough for 3 people. So comfortable. Lu Weimong lay down. So Fong, are you still awake? Van Han looked at him. He picked a leaf from her hair and said warmly, you sleep first, I am not sleepy. Fine, but do not sleep too late, it is not good. Van Han reminded. Got it. So Fong laughed. Good night. Van Han closed her eyes and soon breathed evenly. Lu Weimong also slept. So Fong yawned, he looked around the forest, felt no danger, it seemed safe. Closing eyes a while is fine. He added wood to the fire, sat against a tree and closed his eyes. Time passed, suddenly 2 green eyes appeared and moved toward the basket. It was a young black-eared lynx, small in size. It tipped the basket, got scared and ran. After a while it came back, pawed the cloth, found the salted meat. It bit one piece and chewed. From afar, So Fong opened his eyes and saw it. He frowned, hid his aura, quietly stood up and slipped into the forest. Creak creak. Crunch crunch. The lynx ate excitedly, tail wagging. In the dark, So Fong bent down, ready to rush. The distance was about 5 meters, not far, if he missed it he could not catch. He waited patiently until it dropped its guard. Crunch crunch. The lynx gnawed hard, meat was tough. At that moment, So Fong rushed out very fast. In an instant he closed the distance, the lynx noticed too late and was pressed to the ground. Eat my meat and still want to run? He held its neck with one hand, blocked its limbs with the other, avoiding its claws. His lips twitched. No NGO, what is it? Van Han rubbed her eyes, still sleepy. She looked, froze, then shook Lu Weimong. Sister Mong, the lynx is caught. Cat, lynx caught. Van Han pinched her arm to wake her fully. Where is it? Lu Weimong's eyes lit up. So Fong smiled. Here. So cute. She rushed over, hand reaching to touch it. Be careful, if it bites it is trouble. So Fong stopped her. How did you catch it? She asked. He pointed to the basket. It was hungry, came to steal food, I saw it. Poor thing, so cute yet no food? She pitied. He stayed silent, being cute did not mean it had food. If so, why were there many stray cats in the city? What now? We cannot press it forever. Van Han poked it and whispered. Looks big. Actually it is still young, not grown. He explained, its size was bigger than a house cat, looked similar but was still a cub. So after 1 year how big will it be? Lu Waimong asked. At least bigger than a brute. So Fong said, slowly let go, then grabbed the scruff of its neck, making it unable to struggle. Chapter 844, Meow Meow Tipsy. So Fong, do not be too rude. Lu Waimong scolded. So Fong curled his lips and said angrily, you come catch it? Hee, no, I will ruin my face. Lu Waimong quickly waved her hands, she saw the sharp claws of the lynx, if scratched on the face it would surely disfigure. We must trim its claws, otherwise it is too dangerous. Van Han was also afraid, not daring to touch its head. Bring the rope. So Fong ordered softly. Do not act, you tie it, I will restrain it. So Fong gestured with his chin. All right. Lu Waimong gathered courage, passed the rope around its belly, tying it as she once tied the brute. After a while she tied the knot, exhaled, done. Step back, I will release it. So Fong instructed. Okay. The two girls stepped back to an open space. So Fong placed the lynx down, letting it move freely, though the rope on its neck restrained it. Meow. Once on the ground, it tried to run, but was pulled back after less than 2 meters. Do not run, there is meat here. Lu Waimong coaxed with salted meat. It is even harder to handle than the brute. She murmured. No, today I will make it obedient. So Fong smiled. He pulled the rope, dragged the lynx close, and when it raised claws, he pressed his hand on its head, fingers scratching, fur standing. Meow. The lynx escaped his hand, wary, confused by the strange feeling. Come. He beckoned. Meow. It stood still, very cautious. So Fong, it ignores your trick. Van Han laughed. If once fails then many times. He smirked, dragged it again, and acted. The two girls looked at each other, watching him pull it again and again for education. Is it really all right? Lu Waimong doubted its fur might be rubbed bald. It should be fine. Van Han sighed, he had already stroked more than 10 times. Meow. The lynx collapsed weakly, resisting only symbolically, then panting motionless. Good, subdued. He clapped his hands. Lu Waimong frowned angrily, it is clearly despair, resigned to fate. Do not mind details. He coughed. She placed salted meat beside it, softly, come, eat. Meow. It lifted its head then rested on the meat. Van Han thought, will it die from exhaustion? I do not see it excited. Lu Waimong muttered. Do not worry, later it will recover, now if you want to touch then hurry. So Fong laughed. Okay. Van Han tried stroking its head, seeing no resistance, became braver. She praised, its fur is soft and smooth. Arms crossed, so Fong said, therefore lynx fur is made into coats. So pitiful. Lu Waimong was angry, then soothed, do not worry, I will not make you a coat, of course if you die it is different. So Fong twitched his lips, thinking women change fast. So what about this lynx now? She asked. Do not worry, I will care for it. He replied gently. She frowned, concerned, you will not sleep? You are the one like an old lady. Van Han scolded, then returned to lie down. Ah. Lu Waimong yawned, stroked the lynx again, then lay beside the girl. Tonight sleep with me. So Fong stroked the lynx, hugged it while sitting beside them. Meow. It struggled, but was trapped in his arms. Let me check if you have fleas. He flipped it, inspecting. No flea or louse was found. Maybe because of repellent medicine? He took out the pouch, smell still strong. Meow. The lynx leaned on his thigh, claws clutching pants. Sleep. He put away the pouch. Creak, creak. The salted meat was hard, it chewed long, leaving crumbs on his thigh. It tried to escape his grip, failed, then bit. Immediately, he held its jaws. His eyes stern, aura pressing, the lynx lay still, ears drooping. Sleep. He whispered, eyes closed. Meow. It whimpered, powerless to escape. Chapter 845, Cat Tui Hoa. Meow. The black-eared lynx woke up early, stretching and testing the last time. Give up, I will release you in more than 3 months. So Fong opened his eyes, grabbed the lynx by the neck and lifted it from his lap. Meow. The lynx clawed the air, unable to touch his hand. Rustle, rustle. Useless thing. So Fong laughed and scolded. Good morning. Van Han and Lu Waimong woke up, quickly surrounding the lynx. All right, I will cook breakfast. So Fong shrugged, carrying the iron pot to the stream. In the end, breakfast was still cooked by him, letting the girls rest. Half an hour later, 3 people and 1 cat sat around the fire for a meal. Though unhappy, the lynx could not escape. So Fong, what should we name it? Lu Waimong asked while chewing. You decide. He smiled, knowing any name he thought of would become something silly like Iron Egg. It looks female, what should we call it? Lu Waimong pondered. How about Ni Nao or Tui Hoa? Van Han giggled. Ah, call it Tui Hoa. Lu Waimong's eyes sparkled as she nodded. Easy to remember and lively. So Fong's lips twitched helplessly. Really call it Tui Hoa? Van Han asked, surprised. Yes, why not? I think it is nice. Lu Waimong smiled, poking the lynx with chopsticks. As long as you are happy. Van Han smiled, silently recalling their silly pet names. Lu Waimong stroked its head, whispering, Tui Hoa, this is your name. She exhaled in relief, petting its chin. Good girl. After breakfast, they went to the maple tap. After one night, only a little sap. Van Han saw the bamboo tube with just 2 cups. It will take days to fill. Lu Waimong sighed. Leave it flowing, we will collect later. So Fong adjusted the tube. That is all we can do. Van Han nodded. Come, Tui Hoa. Lu Waimong pulled the rope. Me-oh-oh. Tui Hoa crouched low, tail high, unwilling. Move, or you will suffer. So Fong held the rope gently. Me-oh-oh. The lynx struggled, then followed him. So Fong, what did you do? It seems scared of you. Van Han asked. You saw, I only threatened it. He answered truthfully. Maybe your appearance is too fierce. Lu Waimong said seriously. Van Han nodded. Makes sense. He stayed silent, not in the mood to talk. Tui Hoa trailed behind, sometimes lying down, but under his gaze still obeyed. Another little follower. Lu Waimong sang, watching it. When we return, they will call it a zoo. Van Han laughed. True. So Fong sighed. They kept walking along the stream, the road rough. So Fong cleared vines and thorns. So hot. Lu Waimong hid under a tree, fanning herself. Yes, cloudy sky would be better. Van Han also sweated, hiding in shade. All right. She fetched water with the iron pot. Their supply was gone, so they boiled more. He gathered firewood, boiling 2 pots. Clatter, clatter. The water boiled quickly. They dipped the pot in the cold stream to cool. Boom! Steam rose, water cooling fast. She touched the pot, then lifted it. Drink! Van Han said softly. Lu Waimong poured into bowls. Clatter clatter. Who? She drank and sighed. So refreshing. Van Han echoed. She poured the rest into bamboo, then fetched more. Boil more, later we go into the forest away from the stream. He advised. All right. Van Han replied. Waimon, bring Tui Hoa to drink, it looks thirsty. He chuckled. The lynxes can survive without water, it had eaten only dried meat, so needed water. Come, Tui Hoa. Lu Waimong pulled it to the stream. Chapter 846, Coastal Taipan Snake. Tui Hoa, do you want to bathe in the cool stream? Lu Waimong asked with a laugh. Clop clop. Tui Hoa turned, fur bristling in resistance. No bath, do not be angry. Lu Waimong waved her hand quickly. So Fong sat under the tree shade, chuckling. The three rested by the stream for half an hour, drank water, then left and continued toward the forest. Tui Hoa, in 2 days you will meet new friends, Mao Ka, the brute. Along the way, Lu Waimong chattered non-stop. So Fong, seems like we found nothing. Van Han whispered while holding So Fong's hand, eyes scanning around, only trees and grass, no berries. We will find something. So Fong tapped his head, teasing. My luck is always good. Ah. So Fong, what fruit is that? Lu Waimong suddenly shouted. So accurate? Van Han glanced at So Fong, shocked. You just said that. Lu Waimong called again, looks like custard apple. In front were small trees about 5 meters tall, bearing green fruits like enlarged lychees. So Fong checked, nodded, it is custard apple. Custard apple, also called sugar apple, is a small deciduous tree about 3 to 5 meters tall. I never tasted custard apple. Van Han's eyes brightened, she had seen them in supermarkets but too expensive to buy. Familiar? Looks delicious. Lu Waimong reached to pick. Meow. Tui Hoa bristled, stepping back. Waimong, do not move. So Fong frowned, sensing danger. Ah. Lu Waimong froze, but trusted him and stood still. So Fong unfolded a 3-dimensional diagram and released aura pressure. Then his face changed, his hand grabbed a brown branch on the tree. Under his pressure, he caught the target. It was a dark brown snake, over half a meter long, resembling a branch. Snake! Lu Waimong screamed, retreating in fear. Her face was pale, the snake was right where she had tried to pick fruit. Hoo-hoo! Van Han clutched her chest, frightened. Coastal Taipan snake. So Fong spoke solemnly, breathing out after a while. Coastal Taipan snake? Both girls looked puzzled, never heard of it. So Fong observed the snake, said gravely, this species ranks third among land venomous snakes, with 100% fatality rate. It is the most dangerous venomous snake in Australia. Yes, one bite releases about 110 milligrams of venom, enough to kill 100 adults or 500,000 mice. So Fong explained. If you see this snake, stay far away. He warned firmly. Yes, hurry and dispose of it. Van Han nodded quickly. Pity, if the brute were here, it could be a feast. So Fong sighed. You want to feed venomous snake to the honey badger? Lu Waimong asked doubtfully. Though honey badgers resist venom, no test showed they survive Taipan venom. To be safe, So Fong coiled the snake, then hurled it away. Lu Waimong sighed in relief, asked, why not kill it? Better to release it. So Fong replied calmly. Fine. Lu Waimong reluctantly accepted. Are there more snakes or danger? Van Han asked nervously, not daring to approach. No. So Fong checked around, no more danger. Whew. That is good. Van Han felt at ease, gently picked a custard apple. She asked, how to eat this? Simple, peel the green skin then eat. Lu Waimong also picked, tore the skin with her nails. Why I feel it will be sour. Van Han swallowed, mouth watering. No, custard apple is sweet. Lu Waimong said while biting. The next moment, her face twisted, she spat it out. What, not sweet? So Fong laughed. Lu Waimong stuck out her tongue, bitter face, foo, too sour. I do not want to eat. Van Han looked at the half-peeled fruit, drooling. Fool, it is unripe, need to wait days. So Fong smiled fondly. You knew already? Lu Waimong glared, tongue still sour. I only confirmed by seeing you. So Fong shrugged innocently. You used me as experiment? Lu Waimong shouted. Cough, I thought you knew, you said custard apple was sweet. So Fong laughed, eyes flashing slyly. Chapter 847, Missing You So Much. Sister Meng, drink some water. Van Han took a bamboo tube from the basket, opened the wooden lid and handed it over. Lu Waimeng glared at So Fong, innocently saying, still little Van Han is the best. So Fong smiled bitterly, it seemed he himself had said such words before. So Fong, so these cannot be eaten? Van Han looked at the sarsop fruits on the tree, her face showing reluctance. The sarsop is rich in nutrients, containing minerals like calcium, phosphorus, iron, and vitamin C. It also has the effect of activating brain cells, often used abroad to help treat brain atrophy. Patients who regularly eat sarsop have clear auxiliary effects in reducing symptoms. Moreover, research shows that sarsop extract can resist 12 types of malignant cancer cells, including colon cancer, breast cancer, lung cancer, and pancreatic cancer. So Fong curled his lips, pretending mysteriously, besides that, it is also the best antioxidant fruit, effective in delaying skin aging, with a whitening beauty effect. Van Han and Lu Waimeng looked at each other, stars shining in their beautiful eyes. It has a whitening effect, that is so good. Lu Waimeng's face was full of joy, she touched her tanned arm and said expectantly, I hope I can become fair again. Rest assured, you will surely become fair again. So Fong gently comforted. Van Han's pretty face turned slightly red, she whispered, actually darker skin is not bad, as long as you don't mind. I don't mind. So Fong fondly patted the girl's head. What are you talking about? Lu Waimeng was a little distracted, her eyes staring at the sarsop fruits on the tree, as if looking at a bottle of skin care. Nothing, let's pick all the sarsop first. Van Han lightly coughed, changing the topic. Okay. Lu Waimeng took out a sack from the basket, tiptoeing to pick all the reachable sarsops. After half an hour, they had picked all they could, only a few high ones remained. Half a sack, still very heavy. Lu Waimeng bit her lip, tried to lift the sack but failed. Let me do it. So Fong easily lifted it. What now, go back or keep going? Van Han held Tui Hoa's leash and asked. Let's go a bit further and see. So Fong looked into the forest depths, feeling there were still treasures. Okay. Van Han obediently replied, pulling Tui Hoa to follow beside him. Lu Waimeng curiously said, we have been out for 2 days, going back takes 2 more days, 4 days absent, what about the camp? Nothing will happen. So Fong answered calmly. Yes, there are traps in the brute. Van Han said innocently. Meanwhile, in the camp, Lu Wai Thursday and the others were playing mahjong to pass the time. Pung. Nan Tan Not quickly declared, taking the tile No Tin No Yet discarded, and discarded another. I wonder what So Fong and the others are doing now. No Tin No Yet rested her chin, her body leaning, eyes glancing at Tay Vai Din beside. Sit down. Tay Vai Din also glanced at her, then stacked his tiles. No Tin No Yet pouted and sat, feeling this round she would lose again. So Fong and them may be exploring new land. NK Books. Lu Wai Thursday whispered. Maybe they are eating something delicious. Nan Nu Nok gently said. Maybe they just killed a beast. No Tin Noyet speculated, based on past encounters, that was usual. Maybe they will bring new members. Nantan Nok lowered her eyes to the brute lying by her feet. It had become accustomed to staying beside them. Yesterday, they even bathed it with soap, otherwise it could not enter the wooden house. Tisk. The brute turned. After lunch it refused to move. No Tin Noyet smiled softly. Hearing you, it is indeed possible. Then I think the female will be called Silly Girl, the male called Iron Egg. Nan Nu Nok joked. Just wait, tomorrow they should return. No Tin Noyet fiddled with tiles, discarding casually. Lu Wai Thursday thought, softly said, tomorrow is the third day, not certain yet. 2 days not seeing, I miss them a lot. No Tin Noyet tapped the table, sighing. Thinking of So Fong? Te Vai Din tilted his head to ask. Nantan Nok teased, who else but So Fong? Yes, only So Fong. Lu Wai Thursday nodded. No Tin Noyet's face flushed. She glared at them and scolded, nonsense, I miss Van Han and Wai Meng, not So Fong. Then it is still true. Lu Wai Thursday smiled. Not considered, it is the truth. No Tin Noyet laughed and scolded. Yes. Lu Wai Thursday nodded seriously. No Tin Noyet was momentarily speechless, this time her words unclear. No need to worry, with So Fong there, nothing will happen. No Tin Noyet waved. I am already used to it. Lu Wai Thursday said calmly. Yes, that is right. Nan Nu Nok thought and felt assured. She asked expectantly, you haven't finished yet? Soon, very soon your turn. No Tin Noyet replied, with 5 people playing, whoever lost would rotate, this was the 3rd round. Mahjong. Te Vai Din calmly revealed his tiles. Lost again. No Tin Noyet pouted, stood, and gave way. Nan Nu Nok excitedly sat down, skillfully shuffled, washed and dealt tiles. Okay. The women replied without turning. Time for a beauty sleep. No Tin Noyet patted her sleeping bag, took off shoes and lay down, sighing, so comfortable. Hoo. Soon after, even breathing sounded, she had fallen asleep. Chapter 848, Instinct. So Fong, are we still going? Van Han pulled the rope to keep Tui Hoa from running. We should move forward, this place is not suitable to spend the night. So Fong glanced around and spoke softly. Not suitable? Lu Wai Mong muttered. It looks fine, the ground is dry and flat, with dry grass and logs. She looked around again but found nothing wrong. So Fong shook his head and asked seriously. This is just the surface, do you not smell the foul odor? Foul odor? I do not smell it. Van Han sniffed, only sensing soil and nature. So Fong's mouth twitched, the description was accurate but unpleasant. Van Han tried to hold her laughter and asked. What smell is that? The stench of a rotting corpse, this could be the territory of a predator, the smell likely comes from leftover prey. So Fong analyzed. In hot weather, a dead animal quickly emits decay. Really? Why do I not smell it? Van Han sniffed a few times, still finding nothing. Do you really want to smell it? So Fong frowned. Forget it, I do not want to vomit, we still have dinner tonight. Van Han quickly shook her head. Yes, let us just keep going. Lu Wai Mong nodded. Then let us go. So Fong lifted the sack of sarsops and continued. Ugh! Lu Wai Mong gagged, covering her nose and mouth. Why is it so foul? Endure a bit, after this path it will be better. So Fong frowned and quickened his pace. Ugh! Van Han and Lu Wai Mong almost ran, stopping only after more than 10 minutes. Huff! Much better. Van Han panted, clutching her chest, feeling how precious free breathing was. Lu Waimong squatted down, voice weak. I almost vomited. Ha 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 ha. So Fong laughed aloud. You still laugh. Van Han scolded angrily. So Fong stopped smiling and spoke gently. All right, we rest here tonight. No, let us go deeper. I fear the wind will carry the stench here. Lu Waimong shook her head. Van Han looked up at the sky and nodded. Right, we still have more than an hour before dark, we can go further. Fine. So Fong shrugged and carried on. After half an hour, they stopped at a flat field of weeds. So Fong put down his basket and sack, surveyed the place, then said, Tonight we stay here, tomorrow we return. Okay. Van Han and Lu Waimong agreed, putting down their baskets and taking out knives and the iron pot. So Fong took the axe, swiftly cutting weeds in a circle 3 meters wide, exposing the black soil. He stood up, brushed grass off his body, and warned. I will gather wood, do not wander off. Be careful. Van Han replied softly. She watched So Fong leave, then casually took salted meat for dinner. Tui Hoa, sit still. Lu Waimong tied it to a bush. After 20 minutes, So Fong returned with wood. This trip had no big discoveries. Van Han stirred the pot and looked at him. The main purpose was walking, right? So Fong smiled. We still gain something, Sarsops and Tui Hoa. Lu Waimong patted the lynx's black ears, now calm. Van Han's eyes sparkled with joy. The greatest gain is Tui Hoa, now I can pet her often. So Fong stroked her head lovingly. If you like, later in the city we can raise a cat. But only domestic cats, black-eared lynxes are forbidden. Van Han whispered. We will see later, maybe there is a way. So Fong said firmly. Yes, let us eat, it is ready. Van Han nodded and handed out bowls. Okay. They answered, blowing to cool then eating eagerly. After half an hour, the three sat satisfied. So full. Lu Waimong hugged Tui Hoa, feeding it salted meat. Meow. Tui Hoa lay holding the meat, eating happily. I told you, with me you will not be mistreated. Lu Waimong patted its head. Van Han smiled. With her, there will be no rats here. Since Godan and Ro rang, no rats appeared. So Fong stroked her hair. Once, Godan returned the same day Ro rang appeared. If not discovered in time, Godan might have been eaten. Later, So Fong educated them both, only then they tolerated each other. Speaking of Ro rang, has it been more than 10 days since? It returned? Van Han asked softly. Seems so. Lu Waimong counted days and nodded. For it, the sky is vast, not returning is normal. So Fong sighed. That is instinct. Chapter 849, Fall Down for Me. Ha. He raised his hand to cover his eyes, yawning slowly as he adjusted to the morning sunlight. Good morning. Van Han smiled and greeted Don Don, with a steaming breakfast laid out before her. Up so early this morning? So Fong sat up, turned his head, but Lu Waimong was not there. All right. So Fong took a small sip of water to moisten his throat, then squatted nearby to brush his teeth. So comfortable, after enduring the night. Lu Waimong walked back lightly, then restarted the drone. Van Han gently urged, Sister Mong, you should wash your face so we can eat breakfast. Coming. Lu Waimong stroked Tui Hoa who had just woken up, then took a toothbrush and sat next to So Fong. Nearly an hour later, the three washed up, ate breakfast, and packed. Though they found nothing major, they dug some herbs and gathered a few wild vegetables they had never eaten before, to change taste. Let's go, we must head back. So Fong carried the bamboo basket, one hand lightly holding a sarsop. Back the old way? Van Han carried his bow and quiver. So Fong shook his head, pointing another direction. No, this way, we should also reach the small stream. Hee hee, I don't want the old way either. Van Han laughed. So Fong shook his head in amusement, her sense of smell sharper than his, yet she still refused the shorter path. The three set out. This time it took nearly 3 hours to reach the small stream, then followed it downstream. By afternoon they would likely reach Sugar Maple. The bamboo tube is still there. Before they arrived, Van Han saw the tube fixed on a branch. She ran ahead with her bow, checking the sap inside. How is it? How much? So Fong asked. Half a tube, but still too little. Van Han replied softly. Not much, but it's only 1 sugar maple. Next time we bring ceramic jars and bamboo, in 7 or 8 days we can harvest again. So Fong said calmly. Then do we stay here tonight? Van Han asked. So Fong shook his head. No, replace it with another tube, there's still time to walk further. All right. Van Han took another tube from the basket, removed the old one, and replaced it. Afterward, the three set off again. The cleared path made returning faster. Time passed without pause. By noon the next day, they neared the camp. From afar, Lu Waimong saw the thorn fence by the stream and excitedly shouted, There, I see the fence in the roof. She hugged Tui Hoa and ran quickly, shouting, Sister, we're back. Be careful, don't fall. So Fong warned. Van Han stared wide-eyed, just complained of weakness, now she runs faster than anyone. She only complained. So Fong shook his head wryly. Van Han guessed, probably missing Sister Thursday. Likely. So Fong held the girl's hand and quickened his steps toward the camp. Sister, open the door, we're back. Lu Waimong shouted at the gate. Ah, you're back. So soon? I thought tomorrow or tonight. Hurry, open the door. Inside, voices rose, then hurried footsteps down the stairs. Coming. Creak. Hee hee, this is Tui Hoa. Lu Waimong lifted the lynx in front. You scared me. Lu Wai Thursday shuddered, startled by the lynx, stepping back onto No Tin Noyet's foot. Ah. No Tin Noyet cried out. She turned quickly. Are you all right? I'm fine. No Tin Noyet smiled gently. She looked at her foot, only dirty not hurt, the pain fading quickly. Good then. Lu Wai Thursday sighed in relief, then scolded, Lu Waimong, you're too mischievous. Oops, sorry, I didn't expect such a big reaction. Lu Waimong stuck out her tongue playfully. Nan Nu Nok curiously asked, Is this a cat? Probably a cat, but So Fong said it's a black-eared lynx. Lu Waimong swung Tui Hoa's paw in front. In Nan Ton Nok's dark eyes shone affection, it looks adorable. Right, its name is Tui Hoa, a new member of So Fong's zoo. Lu Waimong giggled. Tui Hoa. Te Vai Din pressed her lips, the name clearly Lu Waimong's style, not So Fong's. Where are So Fong and Van Han? No Tin Noyet asked curiously. Behind us, should be here soon. Lu Waimong answered, putting Tui Hoa down. Me-oh oh me-oh-oh. The lynx, a bit scared, hid behind her. Lu Waimong's face changed, she shouted, brute, no, NK stop. Books. Tea Tea. The brute ignored, still chasing Tui Hoa. Lu Waimong cried out, Stop it, someone hold it. How to stop it? The girls panicked, the brute out of control was dangerous. Nan Nu Nok ran to find a broom, Nan Ton Nok picked up a stone, hesitating. Te-a. The brute stiffened, then obediently lay flat, tail pressed to the ground, not daring to move. Chapter 850, Not Suitable. Lu Waimong let out a soft breath, hurriedly tightened the rope, and hugged Tui Hoa in her arms. Still shaken, she said, luckily you returned in time. Why did you leave so quickly, not waiting for us? So Fong laughed and scolded. Hee hee. Lu Waimong stuck out her tongue shyly. Are you all right? So Fong looked at the others. No Tin Noyet waved her hand and smiled gently. We are fine, what could happen to us? That is good. So Fong felt relieved. My little Van Han, you finally came back. No Tin Noyet hugged the girl, rubbing her face against hers. Van Han giggled, hee hee, I missed you too. Come in quickly, are you hurt? Did you gain anything? No Tin Noyet pulled the girl inside. So Fong lifted his chin and said gently, it is heavy, let me carry it. Nantan Nok said earnestly, I am very strong. Ha! Nantan Nok grabbed the sack with both hands, tried hard, but only lifted it a little. Ha! Phew! The two of them used all their strength, finally moving the sack full of sarsops into the yard. So Fong shook his head helplessly, glanced at the brute still lying down, and said angrily, stand up. Tea. The brute finally stood up, wagging his tail, following So Fong back inside. So Fong, keep it farther away. Lu Waimong hugged Tui Hoa, staring at the brute. It is fine, it will not dare. So Fong reassured. Just try. He spoke softly. Lu Waimong hesitated, then put Tui Hoa down. Go, Tui Hoa. Meow meow. Tui Hoa quickly hid behind her, peeking at the brute. It only glanced once then obediently sat by So Fong. Ah! It did not fight. Lu Waimong was surprised. So Fong patted the brute's head, smiling, good, Tui Hoa is for you to tame, you cannot always keep it tied. All right, leave it to me. Lu Waimong promised. What is inside the sack? Nan Nu Nok curiously untied it, revealing sarsops. Are these not sarsops? No Tin Noyet exclaimed. Lu Waimong explained, yes, but So Fong said they need more days before eating. Nantan Nok tilted her head, any other harvests? Lu Waimong added, yes, also sugar maple, So Fong said its sap can make sugar. Sugar maple? Lu Wai Thursday frowned, she studied biology yet never heard of it. So it is foreign. Lu Wai Thursday realized and said, shall we collect sap? Yes. So Fong nodded. I will go too. Lu Wai Thursday said firmly. Good, tomorrow. So Fong agreed, then asked, while we were away, did anything happen? Lu Wai Thursday softly answered, no, all was well. That is good. So Fong felt relieved, carried the sarsops upstairs, the others followed. Meow meow. Tui Hoa curiously explored the wooden house. Seeing Mao Caw on the beam, its fur bristled. Why so timid? Lu Waimong scolded, Mao Caw could even beat you. Before they get used to each other, keep it tied. So Fong reminded. Got it. Lu Waimong tied it to a post, placed some salted meat before it. Yes. Van Han nodded. Will it bite people? No Tin Noyet asked, afraid to approach. Lu Waimong smiled and shook her head, no, it is gentle. She stroked its chin, it purred happily. Let me try. No Tin Noyet carefully touched its head. Squeak. Tui Hoa leaned into her hand, enjoying. Is it comfortable? She asked, surprised. Lu Waimong smiled, yes, pet it more, it will not fear you. So cute, it is rubbing me. No Tin Noyet laughed, hugging it. It has not bathed yet. Te Vai Din frowned. No matter, it looks clean. No Tin Noyet replied. Something feels strange. So Fong frowned, sat down, gently tapped her hand. What is wrong? No Tin Noyet asked, seeing his serious face. Lu Waimong asked, is Tui Hoa hurt? So Fong said nothing, hugged Tui Hoa, holding its upper body. Meow meow. The lynx with black ears struggled to break free. It lowered its head, tail tucked tight. Chapter 851, Eye Disease? After a while he finally sighed in relief, placed Tui Hoa back on the ground and gently said, it is just a common eye disease. Eye disease? You mean Tui Hoa has eye disease? Lu Waimong was shocked, taking a step back, afraid that Tui Hoa was really ill. Yes, do not worry, this disease will not spread to humans. So Fong stood up, smiled and said, if you are worried then wash your hands often, do not rub your eyes. Then I will go wash now. Lu Waimong hurriedly grabbed the soap and ran downstairs. It scared me to death, I thought it was some infectious disease. Van Han clutched her chest in fright. If anyone had been closest to Tui Hoa, it was naturally her, So Fong, and Lu Waimong. It really will not spread to people? No Tin Noyet asked with concern. Yes, do not worry, it is a very common eye disease, just pay attention to hygiene. So Fong nodded firmly. No Tin Noyet exhaled with relief, still looked at the black-eared lynx and asked, that is good, but what about Tui Hoa? Eye disease has an incubation period, if not carefully checked it is easy to miss. That is good then. No Tin Noyet breathed again. So Fong clapped his hands and said seriously, good, whoever just touched Tui Hoa, wash your hands, and do not touch it unnecessarily. I must wash too. Van Han said innocently, then went downstairs with No Tin Noyet. Did none of you touch it? So Fong looked at the Nan sisters and Tai Vai Din. Go. He nodded, turned to the wooden shelf, searched among clay jars for herbs to cook medicine for Tui Hoa. Lu Wai Thursday frowned curiously, So Fong, Tui Hoa is still an animal, can it drink medicine? Yes, mainly to reduce fever, swelling, detoxify, as long as the herbs are correct it will be fine. So Fong replied, after a while he gathered all herbs needed. Luckily he always collected herbs outside, otherwise it would not be so quick. He carried them into the bathroom, closed the door and worked. So Fong, do you need my help? Nan Nu knocked gently asked from the door. No need. His voice came from inside. Nan Nu not glanced at her sister's signal and whispered, all right then. Soon after, Lu Waimong and No Tin Noyet returned with wet hands. Mio mio. Tui Hoa lay weakly by the pillar, even the salted meat only half eaten. Do not look at me like that, be good, So Fong will heal you. Lu Waimong said with pity. Though he said it was not contagious, she still could not convince herself. Since when does So Fong treat animals? No Tin Noyet asked curiously. This Fong master truly can do everything. She muttered and dropped the subject. In the bathroom, So Fong squatted by the door, put the prepared herbs into a clay pot. Did not expect it to work so fast. He murmured, recalling the gift bag with veterinary experience he once received. Hope it helps. He told himself, if not, Tui Hoa must return to the forest. Is it ready? Van Han gently asked. Still need to cook the medicine. So Fong replied, placed the clay pot with water on the stove, lit the fire to cook. Does it need injection? Nan Nu Nok asked as she sat to add firewood. No, here we have no antibiotics or antitoxins, injection is impossible. So Fong shook his head with a smile. All right. Nan Nu Nok replied innocently. The water soon boiled, herbs blended, turning clear water dark green. So Fong cut some salted meat and put it in too. How long must it cook? Van Han watched as the water reduced. So Fong calculated, about half an hour. Animals drinking medicine like humans? Lu Waimong muttered. So Fong tapped her forehead, smiled, do not forget, humans are animals too, just more advanced. Say what you want, but why hit me? Lu Waimong rubbed her forehead, aggrieved. I told you not to rub your eyes. So Fong scolded playfully. Ah, I cannot stand it. She blushed, stuck out her tongue, feeling itchy she had rubbed her eye. She trembled, stammered, could it spread? Did not you say it would not? Let me see. So Fong came closer, lifted her eyelid to check. It is so sore. She instinctively grabbed his collar, not to fall. He finished checking and gently said, "No problem, all good." "That is good then." The Lu sisters sighed in relief. "Do not worry, even if contagious, I can cure you." So Fong half joked. "Spit spit, I do not want that." Lu Waimong glared and muttered, "Trouble for nothing." So Fong laughed, pretended to spit, "Fi fi fi." Everyone laughed, he was truly a silly fellow. In the pot the herbs kept boiling, fragrance filled the room. The brute sniffed, then still ate all the salted meat. Chapter 852, No Masculine Aura? Why not eat? Lu Waimong asked anxiously. "It is fine, I will eat later." So Fong reassured, quickly cooling the medicine in cold water. He set the bowl before Tui Hoa, adding dried meat, speaking gently. "Drink it, only then you will heal." "Not eating?" So Fong frowned. "So Fong, be gentle," Lu Waimong warned. Holding the black-eared lynx's chin, he forced the medicine into its mouth, guiding the jaw so it swallowed. "Good." After half a bowl, So Fong stroked Tui Hoa's belly, then released it. "Meow," Tui Hoa cried, hiding far away. "Ungrateful." Te Vai Din frowned. Lu Waimong asked softly, "Will this be enough?" "Tomorrow observe again, if not healed, drink 2 more days." So Fong set the rest before the brute. Tia the brute sniffed, then devoured both medicine and meat. "Why does the brute eat too?" Nan Nu Nok asked, puzzled. "Eye sickness rarely spreads to humans, but between beasts it does." So Fong explained. "Understood." Nan Nu Nok nodded, then carefully washed the bowl in the stream. "Nok, that bowl is only theirs now." Van Han shouted, no one would reuse it. "Got it." She cleaned and returned. So Fong, wash your hands, best to bathe. Van Han urged. All right. So Fong smiled bitterly, pushed downstairs. Under starlight, they ate dinner around the table. "Is my beard too long?" So Fong smiled. "This feels manly." Van Han twitched. "Beard does not suit you, only messy." No Tin Noyet said seriously. "Really?" So Fong asked, glancing at sisters. Nan Nu Nok nodded. "Better clean shaven." "Yes, no beard." Nan Tan Nok agreed. "Am I not masculine?" So Fong was stunned. "No." All answered together. NK Books, Lu Waimong teased. "At most a muscle man." No Tin Noyet counted. "A real man cares for looks, perfume, hair, fitted clothes." So Fong shook his head. "I prefer plain living. Shave and trim hair, you will look good." No Tin Noyet touched his hair. "Yes, a wild charm." Lu Waimong laughed. So Fong's mouth twitched. "After dinner, I will shave you." Van Han said firmly. "Day after tomorrow, I already bathed today, tomorrow I must go to Sugar Maple." So Fong sighed. "Right, I forgot." Van Han nodded. "Then wait until you return." Dinner lasted half an hour, they drank tea and chatted. Later, Te Vai Din rose, called softly. "So Fong? You cannot wait, can you?" He smiled, stood, stretched. "Let's go." "Do not overwork, rest well." Van Han reminded. "I know." He patted her head, left. He had promised to teach her new moves, now he must. Outside, they faced each other, Te Vai Din tied hair back. "First some moves, may hurt, endure it." So Fong warned. "Okay." She nodded, attacking at once. Strong spirit. He praised, sidestepped, pushed, sending her flying over 1 meter. "Are you hurt?" He rushed. "I am fine." She rose, brushed dust. She had braced her fall, else pain would be worse. "Continue?" he asked. Yes. Her eyes burned. From the window, Nan Nu Nok sighed. Sister Vi Din is bold. Nan Ton Nok asked. Do you like martial arts? I like dancing more. Nan Nu Nok blushed. After leaving here, if victorious, you can learn. Nan Ton Nok held her hand. And you? What do you like? Nan Nu Nok asked. She whispered. I like archery. Chapter 853, Want to eat meat? In the swamp not far away, Zhang Zhe and his father Zhang Quan sat by the bamboo bed, using charcoal to clean their teeth. The taste is really unbearable. Zhang Zhe grimaced, touching his lips, accidentally scratching his skin with charcoal. It was not the first time, he had long lost count. Enough, stop complaining. Zhang Quan glanced at his son and said sternly, Anyway, it is better than bad breath. I do not want to pinch my nose when talking to you. Zhang Zhe blushed and muttered, Father, is it necessary to be so direct? So what? Zhang Quan waved casually, rinsed his mouth with a wooden bowl, then wiped his mouth with his hand. Their daily utensils were made of wood, bowls the size of a fist holding only a few sips of water, and barrels as thick as a waist holding just one iron pot of water. Water was never lacking here. What lacked most was nutrition and waste to drive away loneliness. Zhang Zhe's ears turned red. He quickly lowered his head to avoid the drone camera. Zhang Quan shook his head and returned to the shelter to prepare breakfast. The shelter was a large-shaped hut, 3 meters high, width equal to height. From the nearby watch post one could see the floor covered with dry leaves, supported by 7 or 8 logs as thick as arms. When the blizzard struck it almost collapsed. Only after it stopped snowing could they reinforce it. Father, what are we doing today? Zhang Zhe asked after brushing his teeth, putting down his stick and bowl, then sitting by the fire. First check the traps. Zhang Quan replied while putting cleaned wild vegetables into the iron pot, pressing them with a wooden stick. Ah, want to eat meat? He smiled. Yes, eating only vegetables makes me hungry fast. Zhang Zhe said shyly, I am still growing, I need to eat more meat. Zhang Quan laughed and scolded, Nonsense, how old are you still growing? He paused, then nodded, but it is right to eat meat, you look too skinny. Really? Zhang Zhe pinched his cheek, realizing his face had sunken. That is where mother was skilled. He muttered, remembering her soup, its taste unforgettable. Nonsense, your mother just threw everything into one pot. Zhang Quan glanced at the drone and lowered his voice, you even liked her soup? Forget it. Zhang Zhe laughed awkwardly and waved. Clop clop. All right, eat. Zhang Quan took the iron pot off the fire, broke branches into chopsticks and handed them to his son. Zhang Zhe picked wild vegetables, chewed twice, sighed, still so bitter. Yes, without oil and salt it tastes bad. Zhang Quan frowned, Barrett, next time maybe we can catch a wild boar, then we can render lard to use. In the deep swamp lived wild boars, each strong with tusks that intimidated. Zhang Quan glanced at his son disdainfully, I am not afraid of a few beasts. Father, did you not once kill wild boars? He worked near the mountain, sometimes boars ran in and caused trouble, and he led the hunt. Father, I remember you used a shotgun then? Zhang Zhe asked wide-eyed. So what, now without a gun I can still kill them? Zhang Quan blared confidently. Zhang Zhe was speechless, thinking only mother could deal with him. Do not worry, I have a way. Zhang Quan coughed lightly, voice calmer. I know. Zhang Zhe replied helplessly. Over 20 minutes later, after breakfast they took axes and walked along the path to the traps. We must catch prey. Zhang Zhe muttered all along. Zhang Quan turned back angrily, shut your mouth, you chatter like your mother. Zhang Zhe closed his mouth at once, afraid of a beating. Nothing. He sighed, seeing the trap intact. Go see that trap. Zhang Quan said. They carefully walked into the swamp, each step cautious, one misstep could sink them. Half an hour later they reached another trap, still intact, no harvest. Still nothing. Zhang Jie felt down. Zhang Quan patted his shoulder, encouraging, "There are 2 more, let us check them." "All right then." Zhang Jie forced himself to cheer up. They turned toward the next place, about an hour away. Clop clop. Zhang Quan stopped, turned, and asked, "Hungry?" "Yes, this morning we only ate vegetables, I am hungry." Zhang Jie rubbed his belly. "Yes, I know." He answered weakly, raising his head to see the sun still burning fiercely. Chapter 854, Silly Younger Sister? Zhang Jie looked at his father and weakly asked, "Only the last trap remains, it takes half an hour to reach, do we still go?" "Of course we go, otherwise do you stay here and wait for me?" Zhang Quan reached out to take the axe from his son. "I will still go with you." Zhang Jie sighed, because the boar's path was near the last trap, he could not let his father go alone. Zhang Quan nodded, "Then let us go, endure a bit more." He led his son deeper into the swamp. On the way they saw many birds but could not catch any. "Just looking makes me drool." Zhang Jie swallowed, thinking roasted bird must be delicious. "Shall we make 2 more traps to see if we can catch some?" Zhang Quan glanced at his son and whispered. Zhang Jie pressed his lips, "Let us see the last trap first, then decide." After more than 10 minutes, they reached the last trap. Zhang Jie fell silent, the rope trap had tightened, meaning an animal passed but escaped. Zhang Quan cried out in pain, "Disgusting, such a pity." "What now?" Zhang Jie squatted down. "Catch the boar?" Zhang Quan asked. "Father, stop joking, with our weak bodies now, if a boar attacks we cannot escape." Zhang Jie muttered. Zhang Quan paused and whispered, "Sounds reasonable. Let us go." He reset the trap and followed his son into unknown land. He cleared branches with the axe, carefully checking the ground with a stick before stepping. "Enough, we are hungry, save your strength and talk less." Zhang Quan scolded. Zhang Jie kept quiet. They stopped, dug some wild greens in case of no meat. "Do we continue forward?" Zhang Jie looked around, seeing no animals. He pressed his lips, "All right, go on." Yet misfortune followed, for more than an hour they got nothing. Clop clop clop. Tomorrow we return." Zhang Quan looked at his son, he was hungry too. Zhang Jie pressed his lips, "Return and cook wild greens." Now he felt even greens were good, at least not hungry. Only that way. Zhang Quan looked at the bundle, enough for them to eat for 2 days. Elsewhere, Su Feng and Lu Wai Thursday walked by a stream, only the 2 of them, while Lu Wai Mang stayed to watch Cui Hua. Before leaving, Su Feng had boiled medicine. Tomorrow he would check Cui Hua before deciding further. "How far more?" Lu Wai Thursday panted, her health weak, even after care she could not keep pace. Su Feng looked up at the sky and softly said, "Now it should be early afternoon, with your strength, nearly 3 hours more." Lu Wai Thursday bit her lip, panting, 3 hours? "I cannot do it." She bent, supporting her knees, and asked, "Can we reach before dark?" "We cannot." Su Feng shook his head, at his pace it was enough, but not with her. "Then let us keep walking." Lu Wai Thursday inhaled, trying to recover. Seeing her, Su Feng sincerely said, "I will carry you." "Ah." Lu Wai Thursday froze, surprised. Su Feng bent down, waved, "Come up." "No, I can walk myself." Lu Wai Thursday blushed, waving her hands. Lu Wai Thursday was dazed, this was the first time he muttered so. Su Feng frowned, "What are you thinking?" "Nothing." Lu Wai Thursday quickly answered. "Come up." Su Feng urged again. "All right." Lu Wai Thursday no longer refused. She climbed on his back, wrapped her arms, and leaned softly against him. "Hold tight." Su Feng supported her from below, lifting her to prevent slipping. Lu Wai Thursday flushed red, biting her lip in silence. Su Feng coughed awkwardly, then strode forward. Luai Thursday rested quietly on his back, not feeling bumpy, instead safe like never before. I do not know what to say. Luai Thursday whispered. Su Feng twitched his lips, feeling her warm breath on his ear. Am I too heavy? Luai Thursday asked. Not heavy. Su Feng replied. Luai Thursday smiled faintly. I thought you would compare me to a boar. Ha ha ha. Su Feng laughed, teasing, much lighter than a boar indeed. If you keep like this, you will never have a girlfriend. Luai Thursday blurted, like her silly sister always said. Su Feng grimaced, why such words? He almost thought it was Luai Meng on his back, but the long hair reminded him it was Luai Thursday. Do not worry, many will like you. Luai Thursday whispered. Really? Su Feng asked. Of course. Luai Thursday firmly said, secretly including her silly younger sister too. Chapter 855, My father is a scumman. Here. Su Feng stopped, placing Luai Thursday down from his back. In front of him stood a grove of sugar maples, tall and strong. Are these sugar maples? She asked softly. Yes. He rolled his shoulders, then walked toward the bamboo tubes fixed on the tree. Her cheeks flushed, wondering if she was really that heavy. He bent down, peered into the tube, murmuring, only half full again, I still need to connect more tubes. He took out slender bamboo pieces, carved smooth as natural conduits. This time he had 8 half-meter sections, each with 3 joints, all hollowed out to hold more sap. They were not as large as clay jars, but much easier to carry and tie on branches. Let us collect firewood first, the night is near. He drew the hatchet and spoke softly. She looked up at the sky and nodded, all right. She took the hatchet from him and walked into the forest. When she was gone, he drew his bow, set an arrow, pulled, and released. Whiz! The arrow sank into the tree trunk. He pulled it out, drilled wider with a goat horn awl, then pushed a bamboo head inside. He tied it with rope, repeated the work, and before nightfall all tubes were set. Footsteps came, she returned with firewood in her arms. He lowered his bow, saying gently, You worked hard. Sit and rest, I will prepare dinner. He took an iron pot and salted meat by the stream. Not tired, I will help, she hurried closer. The smell of meat drifted, making her swallow. Hold on, food is almost ready, he smiled. Yes, she nodded, added wood to the fire. So Feng, how many days until the contest ends, she asked. I think. He paused, then said, about 110 days. Maybe so. He shrugged, no one could be certain. She looked into his eyes, my father is scum. What? He froze. My mother fell ill, She lowered her head, telling her family story with bitterness. Do you understand me? Her eyes reddened as she stared at him. He breathed deeply and said sincerely, Do not worry, we will hold on until the end, victory will be ours. She blinked, then smiled faintly, whether he understood fully no longer mattered. Come, let us eat. He brought out the stew. All right, she whispered. Fire crackled bright. She washed the dishes, set them to dry by the fire. Tomorrow we return, she asked. Ah, yes. He nodded. What are you thinking? She asked curiously. Nothing. He shook his head with a smile, only feeling stirred by the contrast between past and present. She hugged her knees, sitting silently. The air turned awkward. Cough, if you feel sleepy you may rest early, he said. When with Limong, is it the same? She asked suddenly. No, she always looks for fun. She even wanted to explore the forest at night. He laughed. I knew it, she muttered, thinking of her lively sister. Shall we find something to do? She asked softly. What? He asked curiously. Her face reddened, then she said quickly, We could play chess, or word guessing. Let us play chess, he said. He broke a branch, handed a piece to her. You go first. Yes. She drew a circle in the middle. He then marked a cross to the side. Chapter 856, Back to Before Liberation. This was a small lake, about 1.5 days away from So Fong's wooden hut, where the Zhao brothers brought stolen salted meat. On the first day they chopped wood, built a simple shelter for one night, then slowly reinforced it into what it was now. Aha! Zhao Lei rinsed his face carelessly and stretched. Now both looked fatter, though not back to their pre-island shapes, but far better than last month, at least no longer skin and bones, looking normal. All right, remember to add more meat. Zhao Lei answered casually, turning to collect wood. Zhao Li pouted, got it. He carried out the iron pot, habitually rummaged through the sack, but froze in shock. Oh right, I forgot the knife. Zhao Lei returned, muttering. He looked at his brother and asked suspiciously, what are you doing? Being lazy? You think everyone is like you? Zhao Li glared angrily, shook the sack, and growled, the salted meat is all gone. What? Zhao Lei was stunned, grabbed the sack, checked, and found it empty. It must be finished. Zhao Li said helplessly. So fast? It has been less than a month. Zhao Lei questioned. You dare say that? Every meal you eat meat, morning, noon, night, and even late at night. Zhao Li scolded. Zhao Lei blushed, retorted, didn't you eat? Did you eat less than me? No point arguing, what now? Zhao Li sighed. Of course we go hunting. Zhao Lei calmed, knowing arguing solved nothing. Hunting, but how to catch? Zhao Li felt headache. He regretted eating so much. If saved, it could last 2 months. Since getting salted meat, they only chopped wood and stayed at the lake shelter, never hunting, so the meat ran out without increase. Zhao Lei rolled eyes, suggested, shall we check the hut? You think they have no guard? Zhao Li countered. He thought, then nodded, you are right. So shall we go? Zhao Lei asked again. Eat breakfast first. Zhao Li agreed, pulling out some wild greens. Breakfast only this? Zhao Lei frowned. What else? Zhao Li replied. Fine, just eat this. Zhao Lei sighed. Zhao Li soaked the greens in lake water before cooking. Zhao Lei gazed at the calm water, excited, brother, maybe we dive and see if there are fish? Zhao Li nodded, all right. Splash. So muddy. Zhao Li waded into the middle, stirring the lake. Dive down. Zhao Lei suggested. Yes. Zhao Li sank, opened eyes, adjusted to water, looked at the bottom. After a moment, Zhao Lei also dove. Splash. Huff. After a minute, both rose, gasping. Phew, nothing, not even a hair. Zhao Lei spat water, panting. No, not a single fish. Zhao Li shook head. I don't believe such a big lake has no fish. Zhao Lei refused, then dove again. Zhao Li followed, soon both surfaced. Huff. Both panted, swam to shore. So unlucky, really no fish. Zhao Lei grumbled. We have no choice. Zhao Li climbed out, wrung pants, hung by fire. Zhao Li ignored, prepared greens. NK books. He snapped greens, put into iron pot, stirred with branch. Gurgle. Water boiled, greens softened. Add salt and oil. He muttered, checked bamboo tube, but little salt spilled. All right, add oil. He threw tube, took ceramic jar. This is light. He whispered, uneasy. Opening lid, hand froze. Zhao Lei squinted, asked, don't tell me the oil is gone too? You guessed right. Zhao Li smiled bitterly. He tilted jar, a few drops of oil fell, barely enough for breakfast. Zhao Lei twitched lips, truly felt like back before liberation. Chapter 857, Stealing Meat Again? Inside the wooden house, So Fong and Lu Wai Thursday had returned. After washing up, they sat around the wooden table. Van Han finished cleaning the dishes and asked, "Did you find anything new this time?" "No, most of the time was spent on the road." So Fong replied casually. Lu Wai Mong scooped porridge with a wooden spoon and giggled, "Hee, did my sister get in the way? Are you itching for trouble?" Lu Wai Thursday glanced at her younger sister. "Not really." So Fong could not help but laugh. This time they had enough time, so Lu Wai Thursday went herself, and he did not insist, which is why they came back late. "By the way, did you check on Tui Hoa? Has she recovered?" Lu Wai Mong suddenly asked. "Not yet, but her spirit looks fine." So Fong turned to see Tui Hoa leaning against a post, her big round eyes staring. Indeed, this morning she even ate a big piece of salted meat. No Tin Noyet smiled gently. After she eats I will examine her." So Fong nodded, sipping a bowl of porridge, the millet aroma filling his mouth. Everyone lifted bowls for dinner. The meal was rich. Besides porridge there were roasted breadfruit, mushroom stew with meat, wild vegetable salad, tofu cake, seaweed rice rolls and oyster soup. Ta. The big dog rubbed against So Fong's leg. "After dinner I will give you more." So Fong laughed, scolding. "She already ate, she just wants to stay close to you." No Tin Noyet smiled. Lu Wai Mong teased, "Maybe she is just itchy too." The audience burst out. Even the buzz-cut guy feared nothing but was tamed into a loyal dog by So Fong. "I want to be tamed too." "Twisted, is there a spirit here? Catch him quick." Lu Wai Thursday said calmly, "I think you are the itchy one." She almost splashed porridge on her sister but gave up. Porridge was too precious. "Hee, should Vi Din cherish you instead?" No Tin Noyet teased. "Sure." Tay Vi Din replied seriously. "No, forget it, I am not itchy anymore." Lu Wai Mong said seriously. Everyone laughed. The dinner ended in joy. So Fong sat in front of Tui Hoa, pressing her head with one hand, checking her eyes with the other. "How is she?" Lu Wai Mong asked softly. "Very good, can we hug her?" Lu Wai Mong asked happily. "Yes." So Fong smiled, suggesting, "But better to bathe her, she is a bit dirty." "All right, I will bathe her tomorrow." Lu Wai Mong answered. No Tin Noyet brushed her hair and asked, "Any plans tomorrow?" "Not yet, any suggestion?" So Fong asked back. "None." No Tin Noyet spread her hands. "Then we just stay at the wooden house." So Fong laughed helplessly. "Let's go." So Fong smirked and walked to the yard. Two people started sparring. Even though Tay Vi Din was suppressed, she still enjoyed it. Nothing special happened tonight. Early the next morning, the sun rose again, driving away the darkness. The island brimmed with life. Ha! The Lu sisters and the Nan sisters washed their faces at the stream. "Good morning." Van Han walked down, her face blushing, her steps graceful. "Your face glows, did you do something naughty while we were away?" Lu Wai Mong teased. "Mong's sister." Van Han blushed deeper, stomping shyly. Lu Wai Mong giggled, "Hee, I guessed right." "No, I just slept well." Van Han denied. "I will not talk to you." Van Han pouted, afraid to reveal more. So Fong coughed and suggested, "Cough cough, shall we train this morning?" "Spare me, I did not sleep well." Lu Wai Mong begged. "Why is that?" So Fong asked. Ha! Lu Wai Mong yawned, "Last night I dreamed the Zhao brothers came to steal meat. I beat them with fists and kicks." "So you dreamed, and kicked me off the bed." Lu Wai Thursday narrowed her eyes, her bottom still hurt. Really? Lu Wai Mong looked lost, not remembering. "Yes, probably the footprints are still there." Lu Wai Thursday gritted her teeth. Lu Wai Mong hurried, "Really, let me see." Mind the situation. Lu Wai Thursday blushed, tapping her sister's head. Ah, why hit me? Lu Wai Mong complained pitifully. She pouted, sister, you wrong me, you are dark as ink, you are. Whatever idioms you know, say them all at once. Lu Wai Thursday said coldly. You are killing me with laughter. No Tin Noyet laughed at the window. Good morning. She blew a kiss. A young girl blushed, lowering her head. Shy. No Tin Noyet muttered, with So Fong you were not shy, now you are. So Fong's mouth twitched, caught again. Sister Tin Noyet, what did you say? Nan Nu Nok asked curiously. Nothing. No Tin Noyet replied, turning away to wash. Soon, Tay Bai Din also came down. Chapter 858, Why are you running? If it is 4 tubes then it is fine. Nan Nu Nok muttered softly, then touched the tiles, glanced once and discarded one from the pile. After breakfast, everyone started playing mahjong. 8 people split into 2 groups. The Lu sisters and the Nan sisters at one table, while So Fong, the young girl and the 2 movie stars at another. Lu Wai Mong smiled in satisfaction and said, this is clearly an old person's life. Only missing a little pension money. Nan Nu Nok laughed. Occasionally this is not bad, but long term it is boring. Lu Wai Thursday whispered. Lu Wai Mong replied seriously, it will not, this is very good. Am I just knowing you today? Lu Wai Thursday glanced at her sister and said firmly, within 3 days, you will want to go out. He, sister understands me best. Lu Wai Mong laughed brightly. Lu Wai Thursday rolled her eyes, yet her gaze held a smile. Meanwhile, So Fong once again toppled his tiles, winning another hand. Lost again. No Tin Noyet pouted, glaring at So Fong, this was the 3rd loss. Continue? So Fong asked with a slight laugh. Van Han pursed her lips and said helplessly, So Fong, can you go easy this time? Looks like I can win 1 round. No Tin Noyet gathered her tiles. Then it is mine. Van Han said confidently. Van Han declared proudly, I am also strong, So Fong will not let me lose. Van Han raised her hand in a victory pose. So Fong could not help but laugh, the girl's joy was simple. Outside the camp, the True brothers approached. True Loi peeked over the fence and muttered, looks like no one is inside. I know, stop nagging. True Loi pouted, pointed to the left bush, you go there, I go here. Be careful. True Loi reminded. You too, if discovered then run, we will regroup at camp. True Loi nodded and left. True Loi went the other way, ears sharp for any sound. After 3 minutes, the brothers met again by the stream. How, did you find anything? True Loi asked first. Nothing, no sound at all, very quiet inside. True Loi shook his head. Enter? True Loi's eyes lit up. True Loi thought a moment then shook his head, wait. Wait what, wait until they return? That is too late. True Loi frowned angrily. I always feel something is wrong. True Loi glanced at his brother. True Loi was stunned and asked quickly, what can be wrong? Must we find something? Otherwise why come? Go, enter. True Loi gestured at the gate. Clop clop. Go. True Loi licked his lips, stomach hungry. He pressed the door and said, same as last time, find meat and leave, do not delay. I know, do not dawdle. True Loi replied, together they pushed the gate. Inside the cabin, So Fong frowned, his hand paused. So Fong, what is it? Van Han asked suspiciously. Shoo. So Fong raised a finger to his lips. The sisters also quieted, curious eyes on him. The girls stood quietly, faces full of curiosity. Outside, the True brothers looked into the yard, seeing no one. You go first? True Loi signaled. You first. True Loy said seriously. True Loy pouted, walked in carefully. True Loy followed, cautious eyes on the cabin. Better be careful. True Loy frowned. It is fine, if someone is there we just. His words cut short as a sudden sound behind interrupted with a frightened scream. Whoosh! The hidden trap activated, a rope wrapped him, pulling him up. What is this? True Loy cried in fear. His limbs bound, only his head sticking out, like a fly in a web. True Loy was startled and ran. True Loy struggled and shouted angrily, "Damn it, come back, let me down." True Loy stopped, looked at the cabin, after a while confirmed no one appeared, then returned. Why are you running? True Loy yelled angrily, heartless. True Loy's mouth twitched, guiltily answered, "Shut up, you are hanging in the air still making noise. Stop talking nonsense, get me down." True Loy struggled, body swinging. Calm down, I will let you down now. True Loy said quickly. Chapter 859, Toppled Vinegar Jar. True Loy's brows trembled, he watched the swaying log and snapped, "Didn't I tell you not to mess around? Then hurry up." True Loy kept quiet but muttered, "Hanging like this is unbearable, I don't want to wait any longer." True Loy didn't answer, he drew his knife, stepping closer to the shaking log, thinking of how to get his brother down. Yet in the next moment, he too fell into the same trap. He stepped forward, but the solid ground never came, a bad hunch rose in his chest. A second later, dust burst up, hidden rope sprang to life. Impossible? Before he could finish, the log shot up, the rope tightened, hoisting True Loy into the air. True Loy's face changed, he struggled, shouting, "What are you doing? Are you blind, can't you see what happened?" True Loy retorted angrily. "Couldn't you be more careful?" True Loy's eye twitched, softening. "Now what, we are both hanging." True Loy snapped, "What else, of course escape before they return." Suddenly, a mocking voice rang, "Stop wasting effort, no one will help you." So Fong appeared at the window, hands braced, looking coldly at the hanging brothers. Lu Waimong stood hands on hips, scolding, "Finally caught you, stealing once and daring to come again." "So it was truly you?" Van Han panted. No Tin Noyet giggled, "Ha, caught red-handed. They are the ones who stole our salted meat?" Nan Nu Nok's eyes chilled, glaring fiercely. "Beat them?" Nan Ton Nok flexed her wrist, staring coldly. Why is it you?" True Loy stammered. "This is your hideout?" He was stunned, thinking it was natives' huts. Lu Waimong proudly said, "No doubt, this is our hideout, built by our own hands." "So Fong, he seems to call you his woman." No Tin Noyet laughed sharply. So Fong's mouth twitched. Lu Wai Thursday held a shovel, coldly, "Stop nonsense, beat them first." "Wait, let's talk nicely, don't be rough." True Loy struggled. "We have nothing to say." Van Han huffed, "You stole much salted meat, oil and salt, you must be punished." "Girls shouldn't shout, it ruins image." True Loy forced a smile, sweat dripping. "Image? None exists." Lu Waimong sneered, rolling up sleeves and leaving the window. "Go down and talk." So Fong turned away. Van Han called, "The brute too." The brothers glanced at each other, fear in their eyes. Creak! The wooden door opened, Lu Waimong stomped down, grabbing a wooden stick, tapping it. So Fong followed, then Van Han and others. Ta. The brute circled So Fong, eyes fixed on the hanging brothers. The brothers shuddered, these women scarier than beasts. No Tin Noyet and Tay Bai Din came down, leaning at the rabbit cage, watching. So Fong, how will you deal with them? No Tin Noyet asked curiously. Do you have a suggestion? He countered. No Tin Noyet's eyes flickered, I do, but I can't say, or it affects the contest. Tay Bai Din simply drew a throat-slitting gesture. Lu Waimong blushed, startled, So Fong, what did you say, we are your women? Ha ha ha, slip of tongue, don't mind. He laughed, eyes shifty. In the room, watchers burst comments. So Fong said his true thought. Disgusting, vile man. Upstairs, are you sick, need a doctor? You lost already, but those brothers are truly unlucky. Van Han bit lips, twisted his waist, spinning him 180 degrees. TSS. So Fong inhaled sharply, mouth twitching. I am not your woman. Nantan not bowed, cheeks flushed. Cough cough, I misspoke, don't mind. He waved, thinking the vinegar jar had toppled, impossible to mend. Actually, not bad. Tay Vai Din murmured. No Tin No yet widened eyes, whispered, moved? Silent, first time indeed. She teased. Want blackmail material? Tay Vai Din said softly. She raised hands, serious, I didn't say. His lips curved faintly. Tru Loi coughed twice. Cough cough, did you forget something? Lu Imong recovered, waving stick, not forgotten, just letting you hang longer. Van Han released his waist, turning angrily, air above is good, let you down at night. Chapter 860, Granny, do not make trouble. No backbone. Zhao Lei glanced at his elder brother and said stiffly. This is nothing serious. Fine, then hang them first. Su Fong frowned, slightly admiring Zhao Lei's stubbornness. Zhao Lei paled and shouted urgently, don't. He glared at his brother, angry, shut your mouth, you only make trouble and add losses. You. Zhao Lei glared back. What do you mean, you? Zhao Lei's brother retorted. All right, leave them hanging for now. Su Fong tilted his head and spoke gently, then turned to go upstairs. Yan Qingyu asked softly, will you really hang them like this? Hanging a while will be fine. Su Fong smiled. I hope you do not dry up into husks. Lu Yimeng snorted childishly. Wu Tingyue clapped and pulled Shi Whiting away, leaving a line, hang quietly. Come back, let us down. Zhao Lei's brother struggled and swayed until nausea rose. Do not waste your strength. Zhao Lei curled his lip and weakly leaned, still swaying in the air. Zhao Lei's brother angrily said, who told you to be so talkative? Even if I kept silent, would they spare us? Zhao Lei sneered, showing no fear. If we are eliminated for this, I will beat you properly when home. Zhao Lei's brother shouted stubbornly. Now you know fear? Should have learned earlier. He scolded further. Zhao Lei turned coldly, enough, shut up, instead of nagging think how to escape. Tea. His brother stopped and painfully looked down, frowning and murmuring, is that a honey badger? What is it doing? Zhao Lei asked with a furrowed brow. I do not know. His brother shook his head, terrified hanging midair, with no mood to watch the fool. In the wooden house, Su Fong and the others sat again and resumed the unfinished mahjong game. Su Fong, can they run away? Yun Han asked with worry. They cannot, the brute is still below. Su Fong replied casually, if they escaped under his nose he might as well forfeit. All right. Yun Han bit her lip and answered. Never mind them, let us continue. Lu Yimeng shouted with excitement. More than an hour later, it seems they truly forgot us. Zhao Lei staggered in the wind, the noon sun making his head spin. So heartless. Zhao Lei's brother weakly answered. Clatter clatter. His stomach growled, the morning wild greens were digested, under the blazing sun his mouth tasted bitter and he was nearly faint. Let us down. Zhao Lei hoarsely cried, his throat dry. Tea. The brute barked twice then lay down. Lu Yimeng peered from the window, frowning, stop making noise, it is annoying. Zhao Lei was at a loss for words but soon continued to complain. Hanging them forever is pointless, better bury them. Lu Yimeng said cruelly. The brothers turned pale and hunched. You fool, doing that will disqualify us. Lu Yizhu rolled her eyes. Su Feng, maybe release them. Yun Han tugged Su Feng's hand with reluctance in her eyes. Do you not hate them anymore? Su Feng asked gently. NK Books. Yun Han pressed her lips and whispered, I still dislike them, but this seems wrong. Fine, let them down first. Su Feng smiled and patted the girl's head. After letting them down, tie them again? Lu Yiming asked. Yes, tie them again after release. Lu Yiming said simply. Good. Su Feng went downstairs and the girls hurried after him. Indeed, our little Hanin is kind, so we plan to release you. Lu Yiming said, patting the girl's shoulder. Then hurry and let us down. Zhao Lei's brother cried with joy. Shut up. Su Feng raised an eyebrow, his aura suppressive. You. Zhao Lei's brother lost his words as if his throat were choked. Su Feng went to the tree, gripped a log about 2 meters up and pressed it down, slowly lowering it under the brother's horrified eyes. Damn! Zhao Lei cursed, shocked. Crack crack. The wood creaked and soon Zhao Lei's brother touched the ground. Lu Yiming rushed forward, cut the rope with a military knife and placed the blade at his neck, cooing, Do not move, my knife has no mercy. Lu Yizhu's mouth twitched. Pity you are not a bandit. Wu Tingyue teased. Granny, do not make trouble. Zhao Lei froze, hair standing, feeling the sharp blade. If you move, I might slip. Lu Yiming warned coldly while holding the rope to prevent escape. Granny, put down the knife, I will not move. Zhao Lei surrendered completely. That is better. Lu Yiming withdrew the knife and tightened the knot. Stand still over there. She dusted her hands, fool, watch him. Te-a. The brute circled Zhao Lei, loyally guarding.